Hey everybody, welcome to my next video. I don't know what video we're up to now, maybe 7 or 8, but this one's going to be another Quad Cortex one. Just because of the success that I've had on the other ones, I was not expecting, 5 people to watch my last Quad Cortex video, and to my surprise, it's up nearly 1,000 now, and I figured. Why not continue doing the same thing? I keep seeing the same problems on the forums and that kind of stuff. And I figured I should sort of go through how the Quad Cortex has changed the way that I set up for a gig, the way that I set up for songs, that I'm playing at these gigs, the way that I've set up stuff at home. And I figured I would just start there. So what I'm going to do is go through basically my complete rig from what it used to be pre-Quad Cortex and what it is now. So behind me I have a setup. Obviously I have my guitar on, and although I don't actually play this one at gigs all that much, but I have done, and what I'm going to do is talk you through the whole setup, from what it used to be, how I used to set the songs up, what I would play, and then I'll show you how much simpler and how much lighter everything has got, and how much better sounding everything has got since moving over to the Quad Cortex. Before we get into that, none of this would actually be possible without the sponsorship that I have from Squarespace. No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't have any of that, but I just see it all the time. I figured I'd throw in a joke or two. Now things are sort of taken off, and start to show hopefully some personality. But yeah, that's the feedback I keep getting from friends anyway. And well, let's just get to the video, and then yeah, we'll get into some playing. All right, so here we are. I now have you on my GoPro, and I'm just going to go through my rig, which is behind me on the floor. Here is my pedal board. This is what I take with me, be in a bag. I'd have that over my shoulder as I'm hoisting it in and out of gigs. So I have a cable, which obviously goes into my tuner. This is obviously plugged into my guitar. I would be taking 2 guitars with me as well, so usually take my Explorer and my Les Paul Studio. I'd play the Explorer throughout the whole gig, and have the Studio for Les Paul Studio for any for a backup, any string breaks and all that kind of stuff. But we'd go straight into a tuner, obviously first in line. Then I have the Keeley Neutrino envelope filter, then into a Phase 90, and then I have a Wampler Tumnus, and then a glove by Electro Harmonics. This is the main sort of line that goes through, and throughout I'd be like, basically tap dancing between things, between songs, during songs and that kind of stuff, because then I would take this line and it'll go into the front of my Marshall DSL20. I would have it going into here. And then this actually has FX loop. So then I would have another cable which comes all the way out the back, just like here, and then goes into my MXR analog chorus. And then from there, that would go into this TC Electronic Spark, little tiny boost pedal. And then that would go back up into the back of the Marshall DSL20 and into the FX return. Now I also have another pedal right here. This isn't actually attached to my pedal board, but I just sit it on top. And this is a channel switcher, because this has 2 channels. So I have the ultra gain and the classic gain. And during the gig, like sometimes I wouldn't really touch the volumes, but just sometimes I would move, like, currently the treble set at like 4. Sometimes I'd move it up to about 6 if required. And then I'd kind of leave everything as it is. I would usually set to high, and then I would take this, and then all this would go. This is a 2x12. I added wheels to it because it was just a nightmare to move around. And so yeah, this is the setup. And yeah, like I said, I'd be tapping and all that kind of stuff whilst I'm playing. It's a lot of weight for sure, and to get to a gig I'd have to usually I'm taking it up a flight of stairs or 2, or at least getting it in and out of my vehicle or my friend's vehicle. It's a lot of work now. I've gone from all that to this. This is it. I do have a little head rush FR, the 108. But this is it. This is my setup now. The funny thing is that we could have both the other guitarist and the bassist in my band go through this. And that's it. We could use the monitors and that kind of stuff. Our PA system it can all come out of here, rather than each of us having a similar setup to this. Switching over to this has been a game changer just in the weight alone. I've played in venues holding like a couple of thousand people, to the top of a old double-decker London bus, and trying to get all that stuff up the stairs of an old double-decker bus. If you haven't seen them, it's pretty tight. This, I have it in a bag. It's on my shoulder, and I take up 2 guitars. Again, just for backup. I do have a little backup amp. It's a Hughes and Kettner. It's called an Amp Man, and that's literally just in case anything goes wrong, I can still play. If anything goes wrong with this, and it was the same with that, if anything went wrong, I could still use that as a backup to go through. So I also have that in my guitar case, and I can just plug that in, and it's not going to sound the same, but at least we can get through the gig. And it has a couple of settings on it, which I can get by, and I also use that for when I want this to go through the cab but without the head or without the pedal board, which I have done for rehearsals. I actually did it for a gig the other month, but from now on I am just taking this and I'll take that, and that's it. Now, how do we get this set up so that it's gig ready? Well, I'll show you. I'll just switch it on. There is a bit of a delay when it's switching on, but I would say it's very similar to switching on a tube amp. You're going to play straight away. So we'll wait for this to load up, and then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay, and so here is my Quad Cortex rig. Basically what we have here is the top, the Brit Plexi 100 normal, which is actually a preset setting within the Quad Cortex. Like when you get the Quad Cortex, it comes with a bunch of presets. And all I've done is just copied that, which is pretty easy. You just get it, and then you can just copy, save as, and then move it to a new thing, which is exactly what I did. Move it to my own preset, and then I just added the things that I needed to add in. Wow, so this is just the actual rig view, but what I can do is swipe up on the screen and go to gig view. Now this is the view that I actually have on my screen when I'm actually playing at gigs. If I tick the box, it goes away. So this is like my Keeley Neutrino, the MX95, but I've got it set as MX Type 90. Then I have the clone, or it's actually a clone, but it's like the one Platumnus. I have a dual compressor in the middle, and then I have a rodent drive, which is like an overdrive, similar to like what I would have as the glove. I'd say this is the rodent drive, which is based on the Proco Rat. To me, it sounds slightly better for the songs that we're doing, so that's what I got set up. And then just like the title of this setting, I have a Brit Plexi 100 normal, sort of set up somewhat similar to the DSL. Down here, the vibrato, and I have a digital delay, a plate reverb, then it goes into a 4x12, which is bigger sounding than the cab that I actually have. Then I have a utility gain, which is up by 2.5 decibels, and then I have a low high cut EQ, and that's just for when I'm going out to FR or PA speakers. Apparently that's what you're meant to do in order to make it sound a little bit better, so that's what I did. So like I said, I'm in scene mode, so I'm in gig view. So just to swipe up, you can see I've got the standard setting. I have issues. So that's the solo in, or the lead part in She's Got Issues. So if I'm on scene A, it sounds like this. But if I move to scene B, if I tick away from that, you can actually see that now the vibrato has come on. And also my drive, because if I, or the clon, because if I took it away, it goes off. The utility gain has also come on as well to give it a little more volume. And yeah, that's my scene B for She's Got Issues. I then have my phaser. So this is for that in the solo in hash pipe. I won't continue playing that, but like just to show you the difference there, you can see that we've got the drive, the compressor, the phaser, and all that switches on. If I swipe back up again, if I go to Beverly Hills, what you'll hear is my envelope filter, which comes on along with my gain. The sort of gain boost, which acts like a sort of yeah, volume boost in this instance. So yeah, the really cool stuff about the about this is like, not only is it really, you know, so much smaller than what I had and used to take, but also I can change it. So if I move up a preset, I now have an acoustic simulator, which is really good for stuff like Teenage Dirtbag, Warning, yeah, that's just a really cool kind of thing that we can have. We can throw in a couple of songs if there's like a sort of jam kind of session that's going on too. But I also have scenes set up for this too. So I have my Warning setting, which actually switches on some overdrive and a tremolo for the little bit in Warning when it does that. And then I can just switch back to the regular acoustic setting. So just in that scene, I have 3 things come on, everything else remains the same. And then I can go. What I can also do is obviously switch back to my brick plexi, just turn the volume down on my guitar, and then have it a bit cleaner as well for that song. So yeah, that's my setup now. So yeah, thanks for watching this, and hopefully that sort of puts a bit of an explanation as to why I've moved over to the Quad Cortex, and what sort of the appeals that I saw turning my rig into this. You don't just have to take my word for it. Look at some of the other bigger bands that are kind of using it. And so like, I haven't even got into the fact that I can download a live rig from Corey Wong or from the guitarist in Megadeth. You have to take my word for it. Like, Megadeth are using Quad Cortex's Kiko, the main guitarist, or rhythm guitarist, I should say, in Megadeth right now. He's got a great video series of talking about how they use the Quad Cortex, what he has it set up. And it's great because I've actually gone in and downloaded his settings. Like, I can get it to sound close to their settings, which is just unreal. I can't even think of that. Like, as an 11-year-old kid that was first learning guitar that wanted to sound like my guitar heroes, I wanted to sound like him, but obviously using used equipment from thrift shops and all that kind of stuff. And now I have the piece of equipment that can make me sound close to my, like, still to this day guitar heroes. It's absolutely insane. But of course, none of this would be possible without sponsorship from Squarespace. No, I'm kidding again. So like, I don't have any sponsorship or whatever. But yeah, so thanks for watching my video. If you've made it this far, and hopefully you can sort of see the ideals that are in the Quad Cortex, and not just Quad Cortex, but other sort of modular systems. You know, with my rig that's behind me, I took all that, plus I had in-ear monitors, plus a PA system. Now I just take the Quad Cortex, I have the PA system, I have my in-ear monitors. It's so much lighter, it's so much easier. I can get so many different sounds. I don't have to take a bunch of stuff. And, you know, I do care about like the way that we sound and that kind of stuff as a gig. But what I found is that like a lot of people who go to my gigs, who come and watch us play, it sounds the same to them. I can hear subtle differences for sure. I actually do like the sound of the Quad Cortex in comparison to my old setup. Not only that, it was consistent too. I know it's going to sound like every single night. That one, I would you know, some nights it would sound different to other nights. I couldn't explain why, but it just did. I don't have that anymore, which is great for my band, great for my gig, great for my ears. And yes, hopefully the scenes will make sense. I did see a question on some of the Facebook forums and groups that I'm also in about the Quad Cortex and how we set it up and that kind of stuff. And I hope that makes sense. I hear a lot of complaints about like the presets and how long it takes to change. And you can probably actually see from the video that from earlier on in this video, the time that it does you know, take to change between presets. But with scenes, you can just make them change real quick. That's, you know, scene mode is the way to go. I will be getting into some more videos about hybrid mode, how I think I will potentially use it. But for the most part, I am going to be sticking with scenes, just because it has everything I need and can do everything I need. Hybrid mode does seem pretty cool for certain songs that we do, and I certainly will be looking down that avenue for sure. But what I might do is just basically copy this whole scene and then create a hybrid one, and so I can sort of switch between the two during a gig. If I need to or if I want to. Some days I'm feeling stomp mode, sometimes I'm feeling scene mode. Most of the time I'm feeling scene mode. But yeah, perhaps now with this new setting, I'll be able to use hybrid mode and check that out too. So yeah, I'm getting excited for that. All the different stuff that's coming down the pipeline, or it sounds like it's coming down the pipeline. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I hope if you want to see more Quad Cortex, more guitar, more stuff from me, I will be getting better in front of the camera, hopefully, we'll see how it goes. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.